So, all the criticism is about current demo, this might not be relevant in future. I participated in playtest 1 week before actual demo release, and my summary is that they had rushed too fast for actual demo release. There was a lot of things which needed to be polished, and some of those had to be rethinked. Game had countless crashes, and their Discord server were full of tester complaints about it. So, at start there are some kind of introduction cutscene, which tell players something about apocalypse and monsters, and then gameplay starts when protagonist wakes up. There is almost like culminating scene where Armageddon entity is chasing protagonist. And I think it is wrong. This is not how stories are told. Culminating stuff need to be later on, not at start. At this point, I still don't know who protagonist is, how it ended up there, and why that monster is chasing me. So overall, lack of the intro. Also, for start scene, it was too hard. At playtest, this chase started right away. On later update, they put trigger few steps for drone, but there is a small bridge ahead where is easy to fall off, and of course I fell. I think overall feeling is like a cold shower for player start to punish it right away. Further on there was scenes where nothing happened, I just passed through them. Maybe great for graphics demonstration, but for me was problem that graphics stuck on low setting and I could not change it. Maybe my PC wouldn't handle it anyway, but it was confusing a bit. After an update there was improvements on graphic, so those were optimized a bit. Also movement were not smooth as I would want, as at some spots player stuck on small bumps and I had to jump over it. The most painful scene was where I had to escape wild boar or beast attack. Basically, it really felt like scene from Souls-like game. I died like 30 times until I managed to get to the ravine I must jump over, and then I mess up and fell into it. And then again like 10 plus attempts to reach it again. The main problem is that player is killed even he is in a jump in middle air. This problem persisted even update right before the demo launched publicly. First time I pushed through this choke point, but second time, which is after update, I played and got stuck again, and I just quit the game as my patience reached its limit. Further on was kind of cutscene which would felt better if my graphics would be appropriate, but I will assume that this was problem of my GPU. Story-wise, I think the cutscene was okay, but at least for me it did not fit with mutated flower scene, which is right after that. The cutscene should introduce player somehow with it. Then the city scene where first time is introduced monsters, but again there was no gradual introduction to them. Just bam, and there they are, and player are clueless, unprepared psychologically to it. First time I died and after respawn fell into a manhole, which should be closed, or the spawn position should be after it. Also monster run movement felt too fast, not fit with player movement speed. I mean, they are taller, so taller creatures tend to move like slower but can cross larger distance, so it did not fit well. And how those creatures spot player also are unforgiving. No time limit on that, once spot you, you're done. So, summarizing previously mentioned, I wonder why I did not saw anyone complaining about story on Discord server. Maybe it was few people which I did not saw, as there was incoming a lot of feedback about problems players encountered. So my question is, why they did not launch a public playtest on Steam instead of demo? Because demo represents game, and this is half-baked product in my eyes. Starting from story, scenes did not fit well together. I mean, starting scene is some sort of culmination which confuses player. There are multiple scenes where nothing did not happen, and then not forgiving souls like wild beast encounter, which could be turn off for players. This shows to me that there is no clarity about story and how they are presenting it to player. Each scene must represent something from overall story, not just put in for the sake of playtime. Like there was one spot where was wildfire caused by monster attack, but that was sudden change and previous scene did not have some sort of intro into that, like smoke or wild animals running away from that, etc. Then the scene where monsters jump into sea. Also, I have no clue about them, but let's assume that it is some sort of intro for incoming city scene. When protagonist crosses water, sudden monster flower scene is also confusing surprise. I assume that there is some sort of mutation happened, but I think there should be some sort of clue about that, which would explain why protagonist was attacked by wild beast, why these flowers are huge mutated ones. And then the city scene where was sudden change as there was a bunch of monsters. I think it would be much better fit if there would be one monster introduced at flower scene, so player would at least be introduced with them in a softer manner. So overall, I think the game have potential. If they will listen to testers and make appropriate changes, there could be a nice gameplay. But for now, they had to do a lot of stuff to make it an enjoyable play, on both ways, like story-wise and just from pure mechanical play through it.